My daughter was buying a car from, she drove by and there was a used car dealership, and she saw a little 3 Series BMW and she liked it, and she called and said, "Dad, would you come negotiate with this guy?" So I show up, and the sales guy's a guy named Mark Dean, and Mark Dean is selling Sarah Beth the car, and we negotiate and worked out a deal. And I'd had a bad morning, it hadn't gone real well that day, and I started to leave, and it hit me, maybe I should say something to him. So I just said, "Hey, do you look at other ways to make money?" And he said, "Well, yeah." I said, "Have you had lunch?" He goes, "No." I said, "Let's meet at Jason's Deli." So I met Mark Dean at Jason's Deli. Showed Mark Dean a presentation, scribbled it out on a napkin or something. I mean, it wasn't a very professional presentation, but for whatever reason, he decides to join my business. Now, the reason I tell you that is I'd had a bad morning, and I really didn't want to say anything to Mark. I really didn't feel like showing a plan that day. It just wasn't going well, but I did. Guys, Mark Dean, that leg of my organization's put in 110,000 IBOs. That one leg. And that was a guy that I almost didn't say anything to that day. Now, understand this, guys. Here, everybody look up here, because if you catch anything, this thought might make you some money. Every time I start to walk past somebody today and I don't really feel like saying something, this thought crosses my mind, and I think, am I walking past a fortune? Because Dino is about as average looking as I am. He wasn't anything special. I had no idea that he would turn out to be a stud muffin, but he did, and that one leg has changed mine and Jeannie's lives. So again, now, if I don't feel good one day and I walk by somebody, I'll usually turn around, because that thought hits my mind that, am I walking past a fortune? Now, we can put that slide up if you would, guys. Here's the ACN system, and Mr. Stevanovsky and some of the other founders, we've been talking, Patrick and Mike, and we've been saying that we got to do a few things a little bit different, kind of go back to the future, if you will. I'm going to start talking about peaking. Now, that's kind of what I did with Mark Dean. I said something to him. In other words, I opened my mouth. Guys, the biggest key is just say something. Would everybody agree with that? Would you leaders, just whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, say something? Because there's an old saying, and it's the truth, you can't say the right thing to the wrong one or the wrong thing to the right one. I mean, that really works. That really applies, guys. So say something. If people are looking, you don't have to be real eloquent. Now, I'm going to give you 3 things that I do, 3 different ways that I approach this business. One, if it's a good friend of mine, I mean, we're buddies, or it's a close relative, I'll just call them up and go, "Hey, I found a way we can work together and make some serious money. There's a Zoom at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Jump on it." I mean, I just almost tell them, it's a buddy of mine. I mean, it's a good friend. It's a close family member. We all have a few people like that in our life, right? That we can just almost call them up and say, "Hey, I found a way we can make some serious money together. Jump on this Zoom at 7 o'clock. That's one approach I take, if it's somebody real close to me. Now, if it's somebody that I know but we're not buddies, then my approach is a little bit different. I'll call them up and I'll go, "Hey, how's the family? How's the dog?" for about 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And then, guys, I think this is key. I'll always turn the conversation on this statement. I'll say, "Listen, this is a business call. Do you look at other ways to make money?" Do you see what I'm doing, guys? I get in there and I talk for a minute about family and stuff that I can talk about, literally a minute, but then I'll tell them that, "Hey, this is a business call. Do you look at other ways to make money?" "Oh, you do? Hey, listen, there's a Zoom tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. I want you on it. Can I put you down?" All right, that's my second approach. Now, the one I've started using lately some is this, is that with Impact, the savings is so phenomenal. If I think it's somebody that I might could help out with Impact and also maybe recruit them in the process, I'll just say, "What do you do for health care?" "Oh, really? Do you mind me asking how much you pay?" And then I got this from Patrick. I mean, I love this. He goes, "Why do you pay so much?" Guys, my personal testimony on that is I was paying $1,500 with Blue Cross, and I'm now paying $426 with Impact for better coverage. I mean, it's amazing. I love it. I've used it a couple of times, works seamlessly, but I'll ask them, I'll say, "Why are you paying that much? Could I give you a quick quote?" And guys, if you haven't done it, you can do an Impact quote on your phone in like 15 seconds. Have y'all figured that out? I'll give them a quote. Give them a quote as quick as you can, because that's what's going to catch their attention, guys. I promise you, the first time I scrolled down and saw 426, it caught my attention because I was paying $1,500 a month. Give them that quote and then see where that leads you from there, guys. But, you know, if I'm talking to them about being an impact customer, then somewhere along the line I'll throw out there, hey, do you realize you can make some money doing this too if you want to look at it? But guys, that's kind of my three approaches. If it's a good buddy, I just almost tell them to get on the Zoom with me. If it's somebody that I just know, but I'm not buddies with, then I'll just say, hey, this is a business call. Got a quick question for you. Do you look at other ways to make money? And then I use the Zoom approach. Now you say, well, what about if it's somebody that it's the cashier, it's the waiter, or it's the whoever? If it's somebody like that, if I got a waiter or a waitress that has a good personality, I'll talk to them a little bit because I know I'm going to be sitting there for 30 minutes or so I'll try to develop a little bit of a relationship. I always think that's the best way to do it if you can. And, you know, at some point in time, I'll say, you know, you've got an amazing personality. My company's expanding in this area. Do you look at other ways to make money? I like the part where I say my company's expanding in this area, which is absolutely a true statement. I'll expand anywhere, won't you? You know, my company's expanding in this area. Do you look at other ways to make money? Really? Now, here's what I'll do. I always carry business cards with me, and I'll hand them a card, and then I'll say, hey, what's your number? Guys, I'm telling you, the big key to that secret is I give them mine so they feel a little bit obligated to return the favor, and then I'll say, what's your number? And I put it in my phone. Because even if they're interested on that spot, life gets in the way, 3 days later, they don't even remember who I am. But if I've got their number, then I call them up and I go, hey, I'm the guy that was asking you, telling you my company's expanding, or, you know, I'd like to visit with you, and I go from there. Guys, we've got to get to doing that. The whole key, and I'm going to say it again, you might be walking past a fortune and you not even know it. We've got to understand that, guys. You never know who's going to be the stud or the studette in this business. Nobody has ACN stamped on their forehead, huh? I mean, we just don't know who's going to do it. We've got to get in the habit of talking to everybody. All right, number 2, PBZs. Now, here's where I'm going to start changing just a little bit. Now, my team, we do 6 scheduled PBZs, business presentations on Zooms, 6 a week. So do I believe in Zooms? Absolutely. Are Zooms going away? Never going away. They're here to stay, guys, and I love it. That's great. But I think we've got to add that belly to belly, that eyeball to eyeball aspect to our business. Now, when I call in talking to somebody on the phone, if it's somebody that I'm a half a mile from, I may say, hey, can you meet me at Starbucks? Or, hey, after work, why don't you run by my house? And if you don't feel comfortable doing the business presentation yourself, play them a video of the business presentation. My gosh, we got a bunch of good videos that you can play people. If you feel like doing it yourself, my gosh, do it. And you say, well, I'm not that good. Hey, you don't want to be too good. If you look too polished, they'll never be able to do what you're doing. But if you kind of screw it up a little bit and stammer and stutter a little bit, they're thinking, my gosh, if Ryan's making money at this, then I'm going to kill it, you know? I mean, you know, that's just the way this business works. You really don't want to be too good at this business, or too smooth, maybe, is the word I'm looking for. But I'm going to try to get them on a Zoom if they live 1,000 miles from me. But if they live around the corner, I'm back to showing presentations in person. Guys, I don't think there's anything that's going to beat us looking somebody eyeball to eyeball, us patting them on the back, us high-fiving them. There's nothing that beats that. We've got to go back to the future. We've got to start doing what built our businesses for years, guys. Now, again, I'm thankful for Zooms, and I'm happy we got Zooms, and I'm going to continue to use Zooms. But I'm telling you, if you can get to them, guys, we need to get to them. Now, just like Patrick teaches, I do it the same exact way. If they start asking me questions about getting on a Zoom, I'll say, listen, you know, I'm pretty new at this, but that guy Ryan, he and Megan, they're going to explain all this stuff. I don't have all the answers, but they do. Can I put you down for 7 o'clock tomorrow night? Guys, we've got to get to showing the plan, and PBZs are great, but let's also start doing those Starbucks meetings and coffee shop meetings, and I know wherever Denny's restaurant is in the Dallas area. I mean, you just got to get out there and start getting with people. I believe if we want to create the huge momentum that we're wanting, which we've got to do to make the money that I think we all want to make, we've got to get that mo going, and I think it's going to involve us getting back to the basics of us getting with people. Now, We're starting live meetings in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston, and I'm going to get them going everywhere. We got one starting in West Texas. We're starting to do live meetings once a week, guys. I mean, I think we've got to get back into that groove. I'll say it again. I think we've got to get people together. I think in our DNA, we want to be with people. We want to have that camaraderie with people. We want to be part of a team, and it's hard to feel that when you're staring at some little inch-by-inch box on a computer screen, right? I mean, let's get real. I mean, we've got to get this thing going again. If we want to start filling up the American Airlines Arena and American Airlines Center and all these big venues, we've got to get people understanding that this is a get-together kind of business. This is a business where you can feel it in the air. This is a business where the excitement just permeates everything. And you can't do that on a computer screen, guys. Now, let me say it again. I'm all for Zooms, and if somebody's way away from me, I'm doing a Zoom. I get that, but if it's at all possible, get a meeting going in your area. You know, I built my team. We started in one little back office in Garland, Texas. That's a suburb east of Dallas. And the whole organization, which turned into hundreds of thousands of people, came from that one little meeting. You just start somewhere and it may only be 5 of you, but the next one will have 7 of you, and then maybe the next one has 12 of you, and then it just kind of gets to go, and then somebody thinks, I can do that, so they start doing a meeting 100 miles away from you. Guys, we've got to get that momentum going, and I believe it's going to be with us doing weekly live meetings. I don't think we can get around it. I mean, we've tried with Zooms, and it's kept us going, but it has not thrived us like I think we all wanted to. Yes or yes? I mean, we've got to get something going like that. Then every Saturday morning, my team, we do and I'm sure all the other leaders do, I'm not saying I'm special, we do a training every Saturday morning, 9 o'clock Central Time. And we get on there, and all of our new people and a lot of our newer people and some of our old people, they get on that training, and we go over the basics of this business. But I'm going to say this, guys, we got to keep using that KISS principle. We got to keep it simple. If we complicate this business, it makes it hard on everybody, especially a new person. They jump in, and they're looking at everything, and they don't know where to go. Give them just a simple roadmap of do this, and then do this. Once you've done that, then we'll start the next steps. We've got to have a roadmap of where people need to go, and we do that in our trainings, guys. Those trainings are so significant for us that's where I think Zooms have a wonderful place for us, because we're pulling the team together from all over the country or all over the world, and we're doing those Zooms so everybody can join in. Everybody with me? Are you guys awake, or did you eat too much? I mean, I'm going over how you make a lot of money, and nobody seems to be even halfway excited about it. I mean, I'll get fired up here in a minute for you, but I mean, right now, I just want to go over the steps. Then, once we have piqued people's interest, and once we have got them on a PBZ, or we've got them to a Starbucks and we've shown them a presentation, then we get them to a weekly meeting. You know, it's a step-by-step process. Very seldom do I show one person, and then the minute I finish, they sign up. That happens some. But a lot of times I've got to take them to the next step. Hey, I know you like what you see. Hey, get to the meeting Wednesday night, or get on the next Zoom, or you got to have a next step to get them on, because some people, they like to think things through, and sometimes they don't just sign up the second you show them a presentation. But we pique their interest, we get them on a PBZ or get in front of them somehow in person, then we get them to a weekly meeting, guys, and then from the weekly meeting, we get them signed up, and now we get them on a training, and we got to get them going. Do you realize the whole key, though, is we've got to get people in and get them customer qualified? Does everybody understand that point? I'm telling you right now, if you get somebody in and a week later they don't have any customers, you've lost them, chances are. We've got to get people qualified. We've got to get checks coming to them. Checks are what validates this business. Checks are what creates momentum. Don't you get excited when you look in your account and money's in there? I mean, we have got to get serious about telling people, hey, you got to get qualified. And we need to take it as our responsibility to help them get there. If you got to get on the phone with them and help them call Aunt Agnes, then get on the phone with them and help them call Aunt Agnes. Whatever it takes to get people qualified and money flowing, that's when your group's going to explode. I promise you, if your group ain't making any money, ain't nobody excited. There is not. But when you get people saying, hey, man, you wouldn't believe the check I got Friday. Man, it was amazing, you know. When that stuff starts permeating your meetings and people start talking about that, hey, this thing works, then people are going to get excited. And then all of a sudden, when people get excited, that's when amazing things happen. We got to make sure and do the steps to get that and make it happen. And then obviously, we got to get people to the big meetings. We got to get, my gosh, it makes me sick that we don't have more people here. Makes me sick. How would, with all the announcements Tony made, did that not fire you up? You know, if that didn't fire you up, I'm telling you right now, your wood's wet. There's something wrong if that didn't get you. I can't wait to get on the plane in the morning and head back to home where I can start working, because I see what's going on, guys. I understand what we've got our hands on. I understand that there's going to be some fortunes made, and I can't guarantee anybody 2 cents, but I'm telling you, this is going to get crazy on us if you'll get out there and do it. Now, I'm going to end with a couple of things. So let's go over our steps one more time. We need to peak. Are you walking past a fortune? Don't ever miss out on that. Number 2, we get them on a PBZ, or what I'm telling you, if they're close enough, get face to face with them. I'm telling you, we're going to have better luck. People can feel your emotions that way. Next one, we got to get them to live meetings, and if you're not having a live meeting in your area, find a back room at a restaurant or something that they'll let you use. Just get something going. Home meetings are amazing, guys. Invite a few people over to the house and show them a presentation. And then our Saturday trainings, and then, guys, we got to get them to every event that we can get them to. My 3 rules for 30 years has been plug into meetings, plug into everything you can plug into, set appointments, and show the plan. I'm a simple-minded guy, but it has been very successful for me just showing the plan. Guys, you understand, if you want to make a lot of money, it's show the plan, show the plan, show the plan. Isn't that right, Aaron? Show the plan, show the plan, show the plan. Get sick of showing the plan, but you keep showing the plan. That's what makes this thing go. We've got to get to showing the plan. You know, here's something that makes me say, I get people on my Zoom, and I love them, but they've turned it into a social club. Do anybody have anybody like that? You know, I'll be talking about, hey, we got to do all this, and we can make all this money, and we can do this stuff, and they're nodding, and then for 8 weeks in a row, they don't have one guest on, and you're going, why are you nodding? You know, why are you nodding? You don't really mean it. Don't nod your head. That doesn't mean anything then. You're not doing anything. We've got to get people, and it starts with us. Do we understand that? If you'll get a little fired up, people will come from miles around to watch you burn, guys. We've got to get excited about what we've got our hands on, because it'll raise everybody else's belief. I'll end with this. 1, guys, before you go to bed tonight, write your dreams down. Write your dreams down, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get back in the dream business. That's what's going to motivate us. That's what's going to carry us through the tough times. That's what's going to get us through a bunch of no's that we're all going to get. Guys, write your dreams down. I've got them on my phone, on my memos. I've got 14 goals to finish out this year with. 14 goals I'm trying to hit. I know where I'm trying to get, guys. Do you? Or are you just hoping that you end up in a good spot? Hope is not a very good strategy, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. We've got to write stuff down. Get serious about your life. Write down what you want to accomplish, because we've got the financial vehicle to help us get there, but we need to know where we're going. So get back in the dream business again. Number 2, you got to grow as a person. One of the best pieces of business advice I ever got was, if you want more, you got to become more. If you want more, you've got to become more. See, you don't chase success, you attract success by the person you become. Guys, I read all the time now, and I hate to read. I'm a terrible reader, but you know what I did? I got an audio program on my phone, audio books, and I just listen to them, let them read to me, you know. I put good stuff in up here, because if we put good stuff in, see, if our thoughts are good, then our actions will be good, then our circumstances will improve. See, our circumstances are because of our actions. Do you agree with that? What you did yesterday and a year ago and 10 years ago, that's why you're where you are today. So if I want to be in a different place in another 5 or 10 years, I've got to change the way I think, because then that'll change my actions, and then my actions will change my circumstances. Guys, life is pretty simple. It's pretty much common sense, but if you just sit around and hope it gets better and don't do anything, nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. So we got to start growing as a person. read you some good books, watch you some Zig Ziglar, some Les Brown, some Joyce Myers, some Jim Rohn. I mean, I watch those videos of those guys, man, those personal growth giants, and it motivates me. If you haven't watched Art Williams, his Just Do It speech, guys, just put Art Williams, Just Do It, pull that up. I bet I've watched that thing 1,000 times because every time I watch it, I get fired up, huh? Cody, you get fired up on that one too? I mean, I love that stuff because it keeps me going. I mean, I have down days like anybody else, but I watch something like that and I get all fired up again, you know? We've got to motivate ourselves. And then the biggest one, when you're trying to become more, is who you running with. You know, I used to pull my basketball team together and I'd always talk to them about, you know, you show me who you run with, guys, and I'm going to show you who you are or who you're going to be. Do you realize y'all can be my team too, and I'm going to tell you the exact same thing. You show me who you run with, and I'm going to show you who you are or who you're going to be. My gosh, I love running with these leaders. I love running with Debbie and Cody and Aaron and Ryan and I mean the Macers. I love running with all these, but you know why? Because they're talking about big things and accomplishing big things. And you know what that does? It gets my mind to thinking, hey, I need to be doing that too. I can do it too. I mean, that's what I start thinking because I'm running with people that are going somewhere with their life. Guys, we've got to quit running with those losers. Quit spending as much time with them. You know, and I understand you can't really have a family get together and say, guys, I'm not going to see you anymore. Y'all are all losers and I'm out of here. We can't do that. No, I get you. But we can start spending less time, huh? We can start going less frequently, huh? And then when somebody that you know is going somewhere in their life, when they want to do something, maybe you drop everything and go hang out with them. Man, I love just hanging with these guys here in this section. I love hanging with them. I mean, I want to talk to them. I want to rub up against them. I mean, I want to do all that stuff because I'm learning. I mean, I'm growing. I'm trying to figure out how to do it better. We need to write our dreams down tonight. We need to start growing as a person by reading and watching some personal growth giants and running with some winners. And then the third point, guys, is we're going to have to work our butt off. Do you understand that? If you're wanting to make significant money, and that everybody has a different definition of it, but I'm telling you, if you want to make significant, life-changing kind of money, and I can't guarantee anything, but I'm telling you this, you're going to work harder than you've ever worked in your whole life for the next year. I'm just being straight up with you. Now, if you're just looking to make just a little bit, then you can play with it and you can make just a little bit. But if you're really wanting to do something special with your life, then I'm telling you right now, it's going to take you making a commitment. Guys, this is all about commitment. I went all in. My back was against the wall. I had no place to go. We were struggling financially, and I either made this work or we were about to lose our house. My back was I was not going to lose. And I had that attitude that whatever it took, I'm going to make this thing work. You got to have that same attitude. And I know some of you are thinking, well, I ain't going to work that hard. Well, that's fine. You don't have to. But I'm telling you this isn't a 40-year career, guys. If you'll just bust your butt for 2, 3, 4 years, and I mean really bust your butt, do you realize you can set yourself for the rest of your life? People keep using all these services, guys. They keep using them. But we've got to get it built. You got to build it first. Then it'll keep paying, but you got to get it built. It's like pushing a car. If you're pushing it by yourself, it's hard. And then you get 2 or 3 people, and it's a little easier, but it's still hard. And then you get 2 or 3 more people, and you keep pushing, but it's still hard. And then you get 2 or 3 more people, and you go, you guys push, I'm a steer. And then you get in, and you start steering, and they're pushing you. But in the beginning, you're pushing the car by yourself. That's the same way our business is. Either you don't have a team or maybe your team's quit on you. Okay, you're pushing the car by yourself. It's going to be hard. It is what it is. But start recruiting 2 or 3 and watch what happens. And then they get a couple and you get a couple more and then watch what happens. And all of a sudden that momentum starts kicking in and you start walking up on stage, getting awards and getting recognized and all that stuff. Guys, this is not about any special ability. It's just about action. It's about, well, you get your butt out there and start talking to people. There's nothing hard about this business. You can do it, but you got to make yourself do it because our tendency is we don't want to get out of our comfort zone. We just don't want to get out of our comfort zone. We want to stay in that little bitty zone because I'm comfortable right here. No, that's bad. Oh, but you know what? If you'll step out your comfort zone, you know what your comfort zone does? It grows a little bit. And then you step out again and it grows a little bit. And you step out again and it grows a little bit. I'll do things today that I wouldn't have thought of doing a few years ago. And that's the way it'd be the same way with you guys. Write your dreams down, guys. Grow as a person, and you got to understand, you got to work your butt off. Here's my challenge to all of us in this room. My challenge is this. For 6 months, make a commitment that you're going to give this thing everything you got. That you're going to squeeze out every second you can out of your busy schedule to make those calls, to get to those meetings, to do those Zooms, to do whatever it takes to change your life. Guys, just for 6 months, will you how fast is 6 months going to go by? I mean, in a heartbeat it'll go by. Why don't we change our lives in the next 6 months? Instead of sitting around wishing, why don't we do something about it? Draw a line in the sand and say, I'm going to stand in the gap for my family. I'm going to show my family that somebody with my name can do something special, guys. I challenge you to do that. I believe with all my heart there'll be two groups of us. There's going to be the group that's glad they did and the group that wishes they had. God bless you guys.